Rain. Okay, let's just move on. I will not actually finish today, so. Slow swallow. If two or more monsters with the same level on the field, you spend some stuff in your hand. You can spend some monster pretend away. You contribute this card, draw 2 instead of 1 for your normal draw during your next draw phase. So what do we have? Special summon, field, proc, location hand, once per turn. And what's the condition? You have room, and is this the matching card? Filter. There's a card in the monster zone. Which is face up, has a level, and there is another card in the monster zone that has the same level. So yeah, 2 or more monsters with the same level. Yeah, that's pretty much it. One small is, which is not a mistake per se, but we don't need the TP player here because we're checking both monster zones anyway, so there's no point having a reference in terms of whose players, from which player's viewpoint you're checking the location, because both locations are the same. Okay, so that's a special summon. And what about the draw effect? Ignition, monster zone. We discard draw 2. Has a cost. It's releasable. Okay. And then it applies an effect. Draw count. Player target U2. Phase, draw phase. Self turn 1. Okay, it looks fine. Let's go try that real quick. So we need 2 monsters at the same level, so let's do Jester Confit and Key Mace. And then we need a couple of cards in the deck. Double shuffle. Okay, so a special summon coffee. I should be able to spell it up. I can special summon this. Use his effect. And then the next draw phase I should draw 2. Okay. Let's add some more to make sure that it resets properly, although I think it resets properly. It should, but I'm just making sure. Also want to test, actually, yeah, if I put this face down, you cannot use it, correct? Okay, so, summon, special, effect, pass. Draw 2. And I should draw only 1 this time. Okay. So the burb is fine. Not seeing anything else. Turns here. Okay. Moving on to this synchro. Exoskeletal Dragon Gaiarm. The Enigma Tails, level 6. To be discard, target 3 other synchros in your graveyard. Return to the extra deck. You can target 1 monster you control that was present from the extra deck. Equip this card from your graveyard to it. When a monster equipped with this card declares an attack, you can draw 1 card. You can only use its effect once per turn. Okay, so genetic materials. This should be to extra deck. Ignition, target, M zone. Right, card once per turn. Cost, tributes itself. 3 other single monsters in your graveyard. His existing target. 3 of them, except this guy. The filter says Synchro is able to extra. TP is not being used here, so I don't know why it's being passed. Is there a 2 extra hint? I don't think so, actually. Yeah, so whatever. We're just going to leave the deck hint. Category 2 extra. We know it's 3 of them. Okay, select targets, and then the operation. Get the targets. It says return them to the extra deck, so we just put all of them in the extra deck. Okay. And return this is not being used, so okay. There we go. Second effect, you target a monster you control that was present from the extra deck and equip this card from the graveyard. So you're gonna go equip, ignition, target, grave, per turn. Location zone, it's control TP, and the filter which says face up some location extra. Okay. You have room in your spell trap zone and you have something to target. Select the target. Okay, so fine. You have no room in spell trap zone, stop. Get the target. If set ready to effect, and this is face up, and this is ready to effect. And equip limit. Okay, this seems fine. And then when a monster equipped with this card declares an attack, do 1. Draw, field trigger, attack announced, play target zone. I must put that as well. Vision. You see, you have like a equip card there. Okay, there's a card that this card is equipped to, and it's the attacker. Okay. If you can draw 1, blah blah blah. This is standard draw 1 stuff, so this seems fine. Let's go and test it. After this one, the puzzle is probably gonna be faster than dumping a bunch of sinkers to the graveyard. Let's just put this on the field, and then we need a few monsters, a few synchros in the graveyard. I'm just gonna put 3 Stardust dragons. And then we need, what do we need? With a monster we control from the someone from the extra deck, so we'll do Linkuribo, I suppose. Just because it's really easy to summon. And then when it attacks, we can draw 1 card. Okay. So let's see. Okay. So I contribute this to target the 3 Stardusts. Put them back. Now we cannot use the effect yet, but we can summon Linkuribo, and now we can use the effect. Target this, equip it, and then when we attack, we don't have a card in the extra deck, to draw. Oops. Let me edit the puzzle really quickly. This one is Key Mace. Let's put a Key Mace in the deck. There we go. Let's go again. Okay. Now one small detail. Okay, it's here. That's good. So this guy's good. Good and done. Moving on, Paparazzi. Paparazzi Disparazzi. Link 2 to affect monsters. When your other monsters target for an attack, change the attack target to this card and perform down escalation. When this card you control to a battle with an opponent's monster. Destroy the opponent's monster. If you do gain LP equal to half the destroy monster's original attack. You can only use this effect once per turn. Okay, to affect monsters from materials. And then change target. Filter Garo. Be battle target, M zone, hard once per turn. What's the condition? Your other monster is target for an attack. Okay, so BT is a battle target. Not based on replace. Not sure what this is about. The battle target needs to be a different card. It needs to be your monster. You need to control it. Okay? An operation. If this card is face up and related to the effect, get the attacker. If the attacker can attack and is not immune, and this card is not immune, then you just calculate the damage. Okay. Seems correct. Destroy effect. So, destroy, recover, single, trigger O. When this card you control is destroyed by battle. Event destroyed. It does not need this flag. This card. Use control TP. This card you control. Yep. Use location monster zone. Based on battle. And get attacker. Destroy by with an opponent's monster. Character destroy by battle with an opponent's monster. The attacker needs to be the opponent's monster, but there is a player. Not sure about this. True. Get the other battler and destroy it. Okay. Destroy it. And if you do get LP. Okay. Right, so let's try it out. We need 2 effect monsters. And then we need another monster to be targeted for an attack. And the second effect will be tested with along with the first effect probably. Right, so we need one more monster. Double summon, I guess. So speed this up. And key mace. I need an opponent and 4 cards. Okay, so these 2, we're gonna use these 2 as materials. Then we're going to attack key mace. This can trigger. Okay, then this destroys. Oh, and it healed the wrong player. Destroy the monster you do again. Right, it should be TP. Step on monster if you do gain LP. Yeah, should heal you, not the opponent. But let me try something. It should work even if I attack the opponent's monster. That's what I want to try out with the wisdom player part. So summon Den up. Then I want to attack with Paparazzi. Right, I think it's the wisdom player part here. It says, when this guy you control to by battle with an opponent's monster. Doesn't need to be the opponent's attack. Should have done the other way around, but whatever. Okay, it didn't work. Oh, because it checks the attacker. No, we need to check the battle target. So maybe it wasn't this. Let's leave it back. Put it back rather. This needs to be C get battle target. Okay, let's try again. Summon special. There we go. Okay. Okay, power buttons are here. This guy's fine too. Move on. Margin trade. Normal spell. Your opponent can discard one card to negate this effect. Otherwise, both players look at their opponent's deck and choose one card from it. Then they add the card chosen by their opponent to their hand. You can only activate one per turn. Okay. To hand search. 5 months per turn. Right, the opponent has cards in their deck. Wait, what? That's the wrong function here. Yeah, you have cards in the deck, and the opponent has cards in the deck. Pretty much. 1 minus 2p. Both players look at their opponent's deck and choose one card. Okay. And then here, there's also the discard to negate part. So G1. One second, let me check this function. So do need this. Oops. Okay, so G1 is my deck, G2 is the opponent's deck. They both need to have at least one card. If this is okay, so this is the negation part. If this can be negated, then G is the cards that the opponent can discard by an effect, if there are, and the opponent selects yes in the prompt. Then they select what they want to discard, they discard it, and the effect stops here. Otherwise, we move on, and the opponent selects one card from your deck, and you select one card from the opponent's deck, and the card the opponent selected goes to your hand, and the card you select goes to the opponent's hand. That's pretty much it. So let's just put a couple of cards in the deck. couple of different cards, preferably. And something to discard, I suppose. 2 cards, win an opponent. Okay. So now it should prompt me. Let's see if we want to negate it. Let's say I want to negate it, I discard it, it stops there. If I choose no, then we pick a card, pick the other card. Yep, I mean, it seems fine. I just need to add the string because I forgot to add it, I suppose, for the prompts, whether the opponent wants to negate or not. But yeah, looks good. And put it here so I don't forget to put a string. And move on to the next card, Assorted Monsters, normal trap. You vote 1 normal and 1 effect monster with the same type, attribute, and level from your deck. Your opponent randomly picks 1 for you to add to your hand, and you shuffle the other monster back into the deck. You can only activate 1 per turn. Okay, so gotta go to hand, gotta go to search, activate free chain, for once per turn, target operation. So let's see, what do we have here? Okay, he did it with select and select. Is the theory? It's theory, okay. So G is all the monsters in your deck that are either normal or effect, and they have a level. Because I guess you need to compare them, and they can be as a hand. And then they go through the check function, which says, okay, the number of SG is the selected group, the group that you have selected already. So yeah, gets discount, get raised needs to be equal to the when selected. Same for attribute and level. The level needs to be equal as well. So basically, this means they need to have the same type, the same attribute, and the same level. And then there needs to be 1 normal and 1 effect monster. So to go to hand, and then during operation, DG is again the same group. You go through the selection process. This is not aux, this is just an oops. So let's check. Dun. Okay, so from SG, okay, so G is the 2 you picked in the deck to reveal. Yes. Why do you need to pick them again though? That's a little weird. Okay, you have the player select 2 cards from G, but G is just the 2 cards, logically speaking. And then you show this to the opponent, which is correct. Shuffle the deck, and then the opponent randomly picks 1 of them. Because you shuffled, the opponent cannot see the cards. And the one you pick, the one the opponent picked, goes to the hand. But I'm not sure why this needs to be G. You should just be able to use. When it needs to be SG, you should just be able to use G. I'm pretty sure. Right? Well, let's see. Okay, the normal monster. Wait, I need to have the same type, attribute, and level. So, are there any other? There must be. There must be some level for us. Beast Warriors that are effect. Yeah, a lot of them, of course. Zodiacs. Boom, boom, boom. if we put another one, I suppose, we'll see that we cannot choose it. And I'll just put some random monsters as well. Blue eyes. This artwork is better. Yeah, then we need just one card in our hand. Set this. Okay, so show me this for some reason. That's wrong. Wait, so something is oh wait, yeah, this check is, I just realized this check is wrong. This check is for different spaces. So we need to change this to 1 maybe? Let me check. It's gonna have different results. Right, so this has to be 1, I'm pretty sure, not the count as J. There we go. So these are built to the opponent. Shuffle. And the opponent reveal the card. Oh, wait, this hint is not needed. Right, the opponent picks. It's a little hard to tell who's getting prompted in test hand. Actually, it's impossible to tell, but yeah. Let's go again. So the opponent sees them. This is this line, and the deck is shuffled, and then the opponent picks what to randomly picks one to add. But why is the hint not working? That's correct. Yeah, and the player is different. It's a little weird. Let me check something. Oop. Select. Player min-max. Player min-max, yeah, that's correct. I'm not sure why the hint message isn't working there, but maybe test hand stuff. I'll check it later, maybe with an actual opponent. So I want to here. Search stuff. Okay. This seems fine as well. We got 3 cards left, so let's get it done. The Master of Beasts pleases. Right, the continuous trap. Once per turn, start the damage step. If your master battles an opponent's master in the same column, you can return all cards in your battling master's column to the hand. You can only activate this effect once per chain. Don't need this. Right, so to hand. Field trigger O, battle start, which is start the damage step. Location zone, soft once per turn. So once per chain. Right, once per chain is in the cost with a flag effect. Resets at the end of the chain, that's correct. Okay, so what's the condition? DC is the attacker, BC is the attack target. If your monster battles an opponent's monster, so if there's no attack target, false. If your opponent controls DC, then just flip them. So DC is always your monster up to this point. CG is the stuff, is the group in your monster's column. So if that group contains the opponent's battling monster, what's this? If your monster battles an opponent's monster in the same column, return all cards in your battling monster's column to the hand. If existing matching card on the field, you pass in CG to it. CG is the group. G contains C of the hand, but you don't need to do this check because if the opponent's monster, the opponent's battling monster, is included in the column group, then that's at least one card the opponent controls. That's part of the column group. You don't need to check that there's another one, or that there's one at all, because BC is gonna be in the group, in the column. So yeah, this check is not required here. So basically, this is checking: is the opponent's master in the same column as my master? If yes, and there is a card in my monster's column. But by default, if you're going past the first check here, there is one card in the master's column and it's the opponent's master. So, right. So if that's true, we need to check, or rather, actually, okay. I think I see why the check is there. Okay, so you wanted to, that's why. Okay, I see. Right, so yeah, maybe BC cannot be returned to the hand, so I need to check this. Okay, that makes sense actually. This could be 0, by the way. Okay, if so, label object is your master, your battling master. Return true, otherwise return false. Target true. Get all the cards in the same column. Right, makes sense just to put the category, the operation info for hand. And then down here, says this card, this is your monster. This is ready to effect, and this is ready to battle. Get the column group, which would have changed by now. G is every card in the monster's column that can be returned to the hand. And just put them all to the hand. Okay. So, give a monster to the opponent and just some spell traps to put stuff in the same column. We don't need the opponents because we're going to give him the monster. So let's put it here. Put this here. Right, so all cards in your battle monster. Why is it not returning the monster? You can return all cards in your battling monster's column to the hand, so presumably should return because the group, let's see. G is every card on the field that's in the same column as the monster, but not the monster itself. So we wanna do TC plus, and it should logically work. You can return all cards in your battling monsters come to hand. Yeah, it doesn't say except your battling monster or anything like that, so logically it should work. It should return this as well. I mean, I'm gonna attack with the fish this time to make it faster. Okay, and let's try with different column to make sure that the column check is correct. So if this guy is here and the fish is here, it should not work. Okay, good. Once per chain is here, in the cost. Okay, so I think this is fine too. Okay, we got a couple of cards left, these two, and this is not even a card to be honest. Yeah, so stall turn. So this is the weirdest card in the bunch, and it's gonna require us to do a little bit of like some trickstery to get it to work properly. But let's read it first. When a spell trap card or monster effect is activated that would negate the summon of a monster or the activation of a spell trap card, banish 3 cards from the top of your deck face down. Negate the activation. If you do, shuffle that card into the deck. So it has a very specific activation condition basically. So negate the deck, that's correct. Activate chaining, condition cost. So let's leave the condition for last because that's the most important thing. So cost is gonna be to banish 3 cards. Is able to move the cost face down. Okay, that's probably got pasted from both desires, I'm guessing. Target true, category negate. If he's able to deck and relate to effect, category to deck. Yeah. Operation, negate activation. If it's related, put it to the deck. Shuffle it, yeah. Okay, that's correct. Condition. If not saying gettable, return false. Okay, that's fair. If category disables summon, return true. That's also correct. And then okay, there's a couple of issues here. First of all, this cannot respond to a spell trap effect. So I think I found the barrier. Yeah. So. Okay, so it needs this. We need to check for this first. So if it's not saying negatable, if the activation cannot be negated, or it's not a monster effect, or a spell trap card activation, then return false. Okay, so that's the first part. Now this part is correct. If it has category disable summon, it's an effect that negates summons, so it's untrue. Now the next part is the tricky part. We need to check whether it would negate the activation of a spell or trap card. So what this does, get operation info. Category negate is that. I need a couple more parameters actually. Bulk card int. DC. Actually, let's name TC to CT because that's what confused me. That's a number, like the count. Alright, so EX is whether the EV effect, which is the one you're chaining to, you're attempting to chain to, if it has a category negate operation info, this is going to be true. If it does, it's going to be false. So that's the first check we need to do here. Makes sense. BG is going to be the cards or the group of cards that are in the operation info. So we go back to Infinity Barrier. We'll go back to Infinity Barrier. Here in the category negate, it has EG as the group that you're trying to negate, and 1 is how many cards it is. So TG here is going to be the group if the effect we're trying to chain to has category negate, TG is going to be the group that is getting negated, so to speak, by the effect that we're chaining to. So we need to check that this is a spell or trap activation, pretty much the effect of this card. CT is how many? So, and this is the important part here, because there are a couple of cards like Tachyon, Transmigration. There's one more, I think. If you control Galaxy Eyes, chaining to a higher, negate activation of your opponent's spell trap cards and master effects activated before this card in this chain. If you do, shuffle them into shuffle the negate cards on the films of the deck. If you have Tachyon, you can activate from your hand. So this negates the whole chain. So we need to, for this, we need to check the whole chain, not just the previous card. That's the thing. Okay, so let me make some room and think about how to write this out. So if not EX, then return false. Makes sense. If the effect does not have category negate, we should stop there. So we need to check the count. So if the count is more than 1, then it means we're in Tachyon Transmigration territory, and we're going to need to do some special handling for it probably. Tachyon Transmigration. Just noting it down. Otherwise, if CT is 1, then we only have one effect to worry about, the exact previous one. So what we're going to use is, I think it's called get chain info or something function. Let me check. Yeah, this one. And we need the chain info for the effect. We need to get the effect itself. Chain info, trigger an effect. And chain C is basically the chain link that we want to check, which is going to be EV is the one that we are chaining to. We're trying to chain to. We need to check the one before it, so we're going to do EV minus 1. So logically, not array. Let's do C or something. We'll figure that out. So C should be the F. So if this card is chain link 3, we need to check if chain link 1 is a spell trap activation. this should be the effect of the chainlink 1 card. So we need to check this. The same check that was that we did up there. Yeah? Then see is active. This has type effect active, and also that is active type. Spell or trap, I'm pretty sure. Type spell or type trap. So if the C, we also need to do C, I suppose. So C is the if this is chainlink 3 in this example, chainlink 2 is the solemn judgment or whatever that we're trying to negate, and chainlink 1 we need to check the properties of chainlink 1. Chainlink 1 needs to be spell or trap. It needs to be an effect type activate, means it's a spell card activation. If it's a spell effect or a trap effect activation, then we cannot use this card. That's a little detail here. Alright, so first I'm gonna check if this works. I think it does, but let's test it. And then if it does, we're gonna do the special handling for attack into migration. So actually let's put it down here so we can grab it easily. And then we need some judgment and Okazi, I guess. Any spell works. So we're gonna set these two, and next turn I'm gonna use Okazi and try to negate it with judgment. And now I should be able to use this. Okay, I couldn't act, so there's a mistake somewhere. But let me check the judgments. Operation info. Category negated G1. Should be correct, unless I misinterpreted something here. Let me debug these and see exactly what's going on. So the first is gonna be EX, the second is gonna be the ID, and the third one should be the count. This, at least that's what I think it is, so maybe I'm making a mistake. That's fine, that's fine. Oops. I didn't mean to click no there. So this error is because Okazi does not have category negate, so that's perfectly fine. Okay, it says true, and then the code is the code of Okazi, right? Yeah, correct. And then it said 1. So that's to be expected. So that's true. TG is the group that has Okazi in it, and CT is the count, which is 1. So this part is not wrong. Is it entering here? And maybe this is a mistake. Possible. Debug. Oops. Let's see. Wait, it says it's true. So it should return true here. Oh, I'm dumb. Holy shit. We can't pay the cost. There's a cost here. Oh man. Yeah, that's what happens when you don't read, guys. That's what happens when you don't read. All this time I thought the code was wrong, but it's because the code was right that the effect wasn't working. Okay, so it should be fine. Let's see. Yep, exactly. Times 3. No, it didn't actually work though. Oh, that's because the function name is wrong. Yeah. Okay, so we don't need these debug messages. Actually, what I do need to debug real quick is the EV value. So, see at this point, because I don't remember if EV goes 0, 1, 2, 3, etc., or 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. And it's relevant for the next part, for Tachyon plus migration, or how I'm thinking on how to implement it. So let's debug it real quick and see, because I don't remember. So EV now says 2, and it's responding to channeling 2 adjustments. So EV goes 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's good to know. So what we're gonna do here, let me note it down. 1, 2, 3. So what we're going to do is we need to loop. So because Tachyon could be chain link 4, right? We need to check if chain link 3, chain link 2, or chain link 1 is a spell trap card activation that Tachyon would negate. And in that case, this should be activatable. So what we need to do is this, but for every effect in the chain previously, pretty much. So for I, we're gonna start from 1 until, let's see, it goes 1, 2, 3, so we need to do EV minus 1. And then here we need to basically copy this, not quite, this needs to be minus I, and then this needs to be if blah blah blah, return true, and now the difficult part will be setting the tests for this. It's probably gonna be easier to do in a puzzle actually. So I have stall turn, and I have cards in my deck to pay the cost, let's not forget it. Okay, so Tachyon, I'm not typing, Tachyon, got migration. Okay, I need to have a galaxy-eyes monster. Opponent spell traps and monster effects. Actually, I need this call is the other card. Chaining 4 higher, pay half, engage division. This is actually easier to test, so I'm gonna use this instead. So how we're gonna do this? Okaze could be one, the first one. I wanna do something. I wanna try with monsters too, so to see that it doesn't work. Okay, I need to change this to something else. Voice of the old man. Two of those in the hand, and then I'm gonna put I'm just gonna put a bunch of Sangans on the field, and I'm gonna remove the Hardmouse pattern from it, just to make it easier. Okay, so first of all, I need to change the puzzle a little bit. So let's put Vanity's Call. Let's put Vanity's Call all the way on the right. And then Voice of the Old Man here. Okay. And then let's remove the Hardmouse pattern from Sangan, just so all of them can trigger at the same time. And let's go and test it. So the idea is the following. If I use Dark Hole, all the Sangans trigger. And then I use Vanity's Call. I should not be able to chain this, which is true. The 4 is these that I do not remove, which is fine. However, if I activate Dark Hole and then chain Poison of the Old Man to the Light Sangan, and then chain Vanity's Call, I can use this. Right, so I wanna do another small test, so I need to change the Sangans into Quasars for this one. I don't don't need the puzzle. So let's go back to the puzzle. Have 3 quasars. So I want to test Chainlink 1 being a spell, and everything else is going to be a monster, basically. I can use this now, which is correct. See, I cannot use it now, where I should be able to. No, wait, I should not be able to, because this negates a monster effect in this case. Never mind, that's correct. That's correct. But if I use this, I should be able to. Yes, nice. Because this is gonna negate this, even though it's all the way at Chainlink 1. I can use this, and it means that my check works. This works. Okay, that's good to know. Let's remove this part. We don't need it. Okay. Alrighty, so this card is done. I had already kind of thought of the logic how to do this because it was a little weird, and Erie told me that he wasn't exactly sure about the condition, but I told him it's fine, I kind of thought about it already. So yeah, this was me putting it to the test basically, and seeing that it actually works. Actually, I didn't notice if it actually shuffle back. Let me check. Yeah, okay. Alright, so this is done. We have 1 card left, and what the card is, Jar of Generosity. Doesn't have one spit turn or anything, right? No, it does not. Okay. So let's get this one done, and so I can finally upload the cards and go to sleep. Okay, Jar of Generosity. Place 1 card from your hand on the top or bottom of the deck. One of those random ass cards that is probably never gonna be used, but whatever. So category to deck, activate for chain. It doesn't need this timing, let's be honest. And then target checks that there's a card in your hand that can be returned to the deck. Operation for the deck location hand. Activate. Select a card from your hand that can be returned to the deck. This is not needed. And if you selected, opt becomes, I'm guessing, yeah, this is top or bottom, whatever you pick, and it just puts it in the corresponding one, which is fine. So it should work. Okay, now let me try. We need to have a card in the deck so we can compare whether it was placed on the top or the bottom. Pick this. If we say top, press this and then the werewolf. And if we say bottom, it should be below. Right, so that seems correct. Now, small detail. If your deck is empty, there's no point selecting, so Get field group count. TP location deck 0 is 0, then blah blah, else do this. So if there's nothing in your deck, there's no point picking top or bottom of the deck. That's the idea. So I'm just gonna pick and it puts it back. But if there is at least one card in the deck, then we pick top or bottom like normal, and the effect does accordingly. Top. There's the top, okay. Top is in the log, okay. So this seems correct as well. Can't think of anything else, there's no harmless pattern or anything. Yeah, this should be fine, it should be done. Okay, so we are done with all the cards today. I need to put a string on this. I'm gonna do it after the stream is done. Anyway. Right, so thanks for watching. If you're still watching, whether it's on Twitch or on YouTube, it doesn't matter. Thanks. Yeah, so I'm gonna go. I need to upload the cards, and that's it. So yeah, thanks. Bye bye. Peace. Take care. See you.